Hey guys, Peter here to do an EP review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest from Ihsahn, Pharos, out September 11th on Candlelight. This EP has 5 tracks, 25 minutes in length, and it's made up of 3 original songs and 2 covers. Now this is the continuation from Telemark, but it doesn't start off where the last one ended. That's not how it works with these 2 EPs. They're interconnected and perhaps interconnected by the creativity of the mind of its creator. But outside of that, when you look at the 2 of them, they're very different. Telemark was almost an autobiography, was closer to home. It really talked more about Ihsahn, the person, not as much as Ihsahn, the artist. On this one, I felt it went the other way around. It's more about him as an artist because it's very creative, it's very eclectic, very outside the box, and very experimental. It's interesting that these 2 releases are so far apart from each other, and yet they're bound by its creativity. I don't think he could have done this with a full-length album. You just have too many restraints on what you can do when you're putting a record together. With this way, with 2 EPs, you can go as far as you want outside the box with each one of them and show 2 different sides of yourself that you can't put them together in one single record. It would be just too eclectic, it would be too hectic for the listener. So I like this thought process idea, creating an album, dividing into 2 EPs and showing 2 different sides of yourself as an artist and as a human being. Now, as far as the songs are concerned on this release, let's start off with the first track, Losing Altitude, one of the darker songs on this EP. Also one that has the heavier undertones to it. Definitely one of the heavier tracks on this release. The vocals are haunting. They match the overall atmosphere that the song has. The keyboards add this experimental 80s vibe to the song, really creating a very interesting atmosphere. And then when the orchestral elements come in, really make the song bigger, increase the volume. It adds a little bit of heaviness as well to the way the song gets constructed. But it just becomes this track that just has a big wall of sound. It has a big presence, and it really starts off this release in the best way possible. Because from a sound perspective, there is a gradual growth as you're moving across at least the first 3 tracks. You really feel like the elements that started off the EP get added on the next song, and then other elements get added on the next song, and there is this growth that you just feel from track to track. And on the next one, Spectre at the Feast, you start to see some of the same elements that were present with Losing Altitude, but now there's new ones that get added to the mix. And I like that. This one, what you saw in addition, was a little bit more of a jazzy vibe in terms of how the music is put together, but also even how the vocals come across. And you feel that specifically in the verses. Not as much in the chorus. The chorus is very bombastic, the chorus is very melodic, but the way the verses are put together on this track, both musically and vocally, it does have those jazzy undertones that start to creep in with the first song on this release, but now they got magnified with this track, and with the next one, which is Pharos, they get magnified even more. They become a lot more present, they become a lot more predominant in how the song sounds and how the song feels, and this allows these 3 songs to have that gradual movement, that growth, that is just very noticeable from a musical perspective. And I like that. There is a sense of continuity within the release itself. Now, as far as the 2 cover songs, he picked 2 perfect songs to go with the overall mood of the 3 originals that he created. And you have to do it that way. You have to find songs that have some of those same elements, at least as far as atmosphere is concerned, so that there is a sense of continuity even going into the covers. The first cover is Roads by Portishead, originally by Portishead, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. He took all the darkness that the original had and he increased it. He changed a few things on this track. He created this song at his own image. That's the best way to describe what he did with this. Just very somber, very dark, still very melodic, great symphonic elements across the track that really elevate the sound, elevate the presence, and elevate the atmosphere. But this is a song that I felt like he departed a little bit from the original and made it his own. This is almost one of his own tracks that really belongs here. It belongs with the 3 originals, and it belongs with the last cover, which is Manhattan Skyline by a-ha. And this was an interesting choice. I perhaps would have gone with Hunting High and Low, which is one of my favorite a-ha songs, and as far as mood, as far as atmosphere is concerned, would also fit perfectly with this release. But Manhattan Skyline is a great choice of a song, and one that surprised me a little bit, because I was not expecting him to choose this kind of a track to close off this EP with. I mean, I was surprised with choosing Roads by Portishead. That completely caught me off guard. But this one as well, because vocally is not an easy song to deliver, or is not an easy song to cover. and he chose Einar Solberg from Leprous to do the vocals on this track. Magnificent, magnificent. I felt that it was so close to the original. When you look at Rhodes from Portishead, you could feel like he took something, made it his own. This one, I felt like he stayed closer to the original. He didn't tweak too much. He didn't change too much. It had a little bit more of heaviness. It had a little bit more of presence from the guitars. The song definitely has a little bit more of a bite, but it keeps a lot of the same elements that the original has, and it just enhances them. Once again, sliding this into a release, into an EP that has 5 songs that have very similar undertones, very similar melodies, and definitely a very similar atmosphere. I love the work with this cover. I'm a huge fan of Aha, and I just love what they did here. Vocally, this song is outstanding. I had goosebumps the first time that I heard it, and I've had goosebumps every single time that this song has come on and I listen to it. It just has an outstanding delivery, both musically and vocally. This is it. This is Ihsahn with Pharos. Once again, out September 11th on Candlelight. Let me know your thoughts on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.